everyone, Hive Live and welcome to Vicarage Road. It's FA Youth Cup football for you this evening. It's Watford against Arsenal in the 5th round of the competition. An expectant crowd here at Vicarage Road. Lots of excitement in the build-up. Can Watford repeat their success of the 4th round, knocking out Category 1 Everton by doing the same to Category 1 Arsenal this evening? I'm John Marks and I'm delighted that this evening I'm joined by our Under-21's lead coach, Omer Riza. Omer, very good evening to you.
Pleasure to be here, John. Thanks for the invite again and looking forward to it.
We mentioned your current role, also of course plenty of knowledge of Arsenal from your time there, and you know some of these Arsenal boys from your England coaching spells as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've had run-ins with 3 or 4 of them, and they're a great little squad, and there's some fantastic little players in there.
Well, hopefully that we'll keep them relatively quiet tonight, and we're going to have another memorable evening for the young Hornets. Let's run through the lineups for you then, just ahead of the teams emerging from the Vicarage Road tunnel. For the Hornets, it's a similar team that beat Everton here just under a month ago. It's Gabriel Ortelli in goal. A back four, Ben Casey replaces the injured Hamza Choudhury. Josh Mullins and George Abbott, the centre-halves. George Abbott, the captain. The 15-year-old Harry Amass, who was on the bench for the FA Cup 3rd round tie at Reading, of course. In midfield, Charlie Davis, Andre Aguilo and Jack Greaves, who scored that stunning goal against Everton. Michael Adepoku was only on the bench because he played 90 minutes against Reading, but he comes in for the injured Aaron Ben, Adrian Blake and Toby Adeyemo. It's perhaps nice to us to say that Watford have got a first-teamer playing in the Youth Cup tonight. On the bench for the Hornets, Jonathan McCauley is the sub-keeper, Tom Georgiou, Jack Taylor, Prince Sakiru, David Hamiga, Yanis Goulandris and Xavier Messiah Edwards. The teams are on their way then, out of the Vicarage Road tunnel to the familiar sound of Z cars. Let's confirm the Arsenal lineup for you. In goal, Noah Cooper, a back four of Mikhail Roziak, Royal Walters, Tino Kwamina and Lino Sousa. In midfield, Miles Lewis Skelly, Bradley Ibrahim and Jimmy Gower. And a front three of Amario Cozier Dubry, Amari Benjamin and Seb Ferdinand. On the bench for Arsenal, Brian Okonkwo is the sub-keeper, Josh Nichols, Ethan Nwaneri, who's Arsenal's youngest ever first-team player, Osman Kamara scored the winner for Arsenal in the previous round at Newcastle, Mateus Roberts, Ismail Ulad Mhand and Maldini Kakuri. The formalities are almost complete. The teams will go through their last warm-ups ahead of kick-off here at Vicarage Road. It's a chilly night, it's a still night, it's a perfect night for FA Youth Cup football, Omer.
Yeah, what a great night under the light, Vic Road. What more can the boys want? You know, it's a great occasion against a great opposition. Let's hope the boys really have a great performance.
As I mentioned when we went through the lineups, Watford have got a first-teamer player. They've got 2 or 3 that got first-team experience, which is fantastic. But Toby Adeyemo, what a month he's had. Of course, scored his first senior goal, and he leads the line tonight, and he's so important to this team.
Yeah, we're all so proud of Toby for what he's achieved over the course of the last month or so, and you know, he's still there and he's in and around the squad, and the first-team staff have been really happy with his performances. And he's got a great attitude and character and work ethic, and that's what's got him there, and I'm sure that will continue, so brilliant for him.
And for Arsenal, you picked out Amario Cozier Dubry wearing number 7 as a player that Watford are really going to have to keep their eye on tonight. Yeah,
he's a fine young man, you know, played in the England setup while I was there as well, and he can play both sides of the pitch, very tricky, got great balance, can add to the goals, a very tricky player to deal with.
Well, if he starts on the right, he could be up against 15-year-old Harry Amass. I watched the highlights of Arsenal's win at Newcastle in the last round, and it seemed like everything went through him on that right flank. Lights cutting in on his left foot as well. So, of course, Watford beat Category 1 opposition in the last round. Arsenal are sort of midway in the Under-18 Premier League division, so they're not ripping it up, but we expect them to be stronger than Everton, don't we?
I'd like to think so. You know, I think Everton. You know, let's not take light of the achievement that we managed to achieve the last round against Everton. They were a good side, and we managed to outwit them and outplay them. And Arsenal's a different entity. Got good players all over the pitch. They play with a good togetherness. But like you say, it's FA Youth Cup. Both teams are out there to win, and I'm sure Watford will give a great account of themselves.
You just caught a glimpse of the Arsenal Under-18 head coach, Jack Wilshere. And he lines up against, of course, Watford's Charlie Daniels. It's going to be Arsenal that will get us underway. Charlie Daniels just with some last instructions, and away we go with Arsenal attacking the Rookery end in the first half. And in their familiar, of course, red and white shirts, white shorts and red socks. Watford in their home strip, yellow shirts, black shorts, yellow socks. There's Royal Waters. And Tino Kwamina straight away looking for Choudhury, but that ball beats him. But that was certainly, as I say, seemed like a tactic that Arsenal employed, wanting to get him involved in the game as much as possible. And that tie at Newcastle did get on the score sheet. Arsenal beat Millwall 6-0 in the third round. Watford winning 3-0 at Lincoln City. Now, chance for Adrian Blake. Space for him early on. Adrian Blake into the penalty area. Looking for the far post, and Adepoku! What a start! What a start for Watford. Adrian Blake down the left-hand side, and Michael Adepoku at the far post has bundled it over the line. And inside 80 seconds, Watford have the lead. It's Watford 1, Arsenal 0.
What a great goal to start, you know. George Abbott driving out with the ball there, lending the ball to Harry Amash. Nice little run from Adrian Blake, slid the ball in down the side. And as you can see, a great ball across the box. And we talk about it all the time, our players, to get across people, and Toby's done a great job there for the tackle.
Well, he put the defender under pressure. Michael Adepoku, Linu Souza it was, the left back. And, well, the perfect start for the Hornets. Watford 1, Arsenal 0. A sixth under-18 goal of the season for Michael Adepoku, who played the whole 90 minutes in the FA Cup third round against Reading, made his league debut as a substitute here at Vicarage Road against Rotherham. It's been quite a month for the academy, Omer, and well, one of those that has tasted first-team action. He's made a name for himself here.
Yep, it's been brilliant for the boys, like we've said already, all getting the chance to step up and have a go, and they've all done it with great attitudes and character, so hopefully that continues. And
he's just a first year, Michael, isn't he? Still only 17?
He is, still very young.
He's played as the 9 at Reading in the first team, but he is more of a wide player, so this is going to suit him, isn't it, playing wide of a front three? Yeah,
it's more his game. You know, it was a tough game for him at Reading, and I think he managed it really well, to be honest. But yeah, playing on the wing is more his style.
How will Arsenal respond? There's Ferdinand. Ben Casey sticking close to him. Arsenal have it back with Lewis Skelly. And here's Walters. That's Choudhury. Space infield for Miles Lewis Skelly. Nice turn, but there's what was Harry Amash winning the ball back. Rosiak for Arsenal. We would expect to see Arsenal having a lot of possession. Omer, I'm sure that's what Charlie and his team of coaches have been working on, that Watford won't see too much of the ball. It'll be a lot of making sure that when they do get it, they don't give it back to Arsenal too quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, it looks like Arsenal were employing a 4-2-3-1, which I think Charlie and Armand prepared well for. Yeah, they will have a lot of the ball, but providing we've got a good structure and discipline behind the ball, which it seems like we have, you know, two banks of 4 there in behind the ball, or even a 4-5-1 if you like, with Toby leading that press. It looks like we've got good control at the moment.
Here's Ferdinand on the left-hand side, and it was Sousa breaking forward, and will be the first corner of the night, but Ben Casey sliding in, making sure that Sousa didn't get any closer to the Watford goal. It's going to be the right back, Michal Rosiak, who's a Polish youth international. One of a number of youth internationals in this Arsenal lineup. Who's on corner duty in front of the Rookery stand.
just to need to be a little bit aware there of the 3v2 on that corner.
It's taken short. Rosiak plays it in low. Jack Greaves clears on the edge of the penalty area. Sousa will shoot from range. Abbott clears for Watford. Sousa again. Amas heads it away, and Blake couldn't find Adupoku. Here's Rosiak again for Arsenal. Misses Ferdinand, who's quick. But Casey does well, and Davis completes the clearance, although Adupoku can't keep it alive. And the shot is over the bar in the end from Jimmy Gower, and Watford have a goal kick, leading by a goal to nil.
I think the point you make there, John, about making sure we don't turn the ball over once we've won it back on transition, I think that will be key today, because they have players that can break really quickly, so we have to manage the ball a little bit better when we've won it back.
Watford have won this competition on 2 occasions, both in the 80s. Harry Amas with a good turn. Blake battling. Greaves unable to win it back, or Kozia-Dubry, but Davis does, and sends an early ball forward. One for Adupoku to chase. He's quick, but he's not quite that quick. And, goalkeeper Noah Cooper clears for Arsenal. Here's Sousa. For Bradley Ibrahim. Great to see such a good crowd in here tonight, Omer. We were hoping for around 2,000, and we might not be far off that, you know.
I think it looks great, you know, coming to support both clubs, you know, and yeah, it looks really nice.
So Kozia-Dubry is cross is deflected, and Mullins did well at the near post to make sure he got in the way of Amari Benjamin. Arsenal, though, do have another corner. Those 2 centre-halves against Everton, Omer, Abbott and Mullins, got in front of everything, didn't they? And they're going to need to be on the mettle again tonight. Yeah,
definitely. I think they've had a good season so far, both of them up with the 21s, you know, a good little partnership there, and I think today will be a real test for them, but it's not like they haven't come up against it in the 21 so far. So
the corner is headed over the bar by Benjamin. Watford will have another goal kick. Benjamin, a Welsh under-17 international. He was named in the Guardian's 2022 Next Generation list as Arsenal's brightest prospect. It must be quite hard to narrow that down to one with when you're looking at clubs like Arsenal in these Category 1 and top six sides.
Yeah, it must be difficult. Nice to be on the list, though.
Aguilar battling, but just caught wrong side there. Arsenal have a free kick, which is taken quickly. Arsenal turn the ball over, and Blake finds Aguilar. Adupoku outside him. Here is Watford's goal scorer. Got a chance to have a go at the fullback. His cross is deflected, and Watford will have their first corner.
Looks like we're getting some good joy in wide areas at the minute with those through balls. Hopefully with our pace we'll be able to cause them more problems there.
And turning the ball over nicely in terms of winning it back in the midfield area. Those midfield players working hard, Aguilar, Davis, Greaves, and as you say, it seems to be that the plan is then get it out wide as quickly as possible.
Yep, seems like Miles Skelly doing a little bit too much on the ball at the minute with Arsenal, so it looks like if we can get on that, nick the ball and counter like we have done, it'd be great.
Talk about getting on the ball, we need a ball at the moment. Andre Aguilar is disappeared into the Vicarage Road end.
I think our lads now under 18s are showing a real maturity in their games. Having played up, now they're starting to really show some maturity in games, sometimes to manage games well, so that'd be interesting to see today as well.
Lots of bodies almost on the goal line in the 6-yard box. Watford scored from a set piece against Everton from Aguilar's delivery towards the near post. Benjamin heads it away, and Kozia-Dubry is the first to it, and Arsenal might look to counter here. Amas, though, with an important interception, read it well, was positioned well, and straight away looks for Adupoku. Great maturity there from the 15-year-old. Aguilar exchanges passes with Davis. and feeds Adupoku. Playing with some confidence, Omer.
Good interchange there on that wide area with Aguiar, Adupoku and Charlie Davis, really good. And like you say, a lovely little ball to set us on our way from Harry Amas.
Only 10 minutes played. It feels like a lot longer. It's been a good watch already. And, I hope you're enjoying it with us on Hive Live, and thank you for joining us. Ben Casey with a throw. Finds Greaves. The flag stays down. Greaves' cross. You can hear the shout of the crowd, but it was only the crowd that wanted a handball decision. And the ball's back with Noah Cooper in the Arsenal goal. But, good little spell that for Charlie Daniels' side.
Just need to be a little bit mindful when we're attacking, making sure we've got security behind the ball at times, because we know they can counter quickly.
Look to play through the lines here, and Ibrahim finds Ferdinand. Ibrahim continues his run on the outside. Davis gets a touch on the ball. It falls for Miles Skelly. There's Rosiak for Arsenal. Kozia Dewberry. Infield for Walters. But Watford have it back. Abbott clears, and Adiemo. He's left one-on-one with Kwamina. Just holds it up. Toby Adiemo. Blake provides support. Davis did well. Got there just ahead of Benjamin. Keeps the ball alive for Watford. And here's Josh Mullins.
Lovely little run there from Aguiar.
Here's Abbott. Welsh Youth International looking to join up perhaps with the under-19s in at the end of the season, maybe. "12 minutes played. Watford won, Arsenal 0 in the FA Youth Cup 5th round. There's Ibrahim. It's well won back by Adupoku. And he will run to Kwamina. The cross is too high for Adeyemi. It will come to Blake. Adrian Blake teasing the defender. And it's 2-0.
What a goal.
How about that? Blake with the assist again, and Toby Adeyemo touched it in from a couple of yards. And inside 15 minutes here, Watford have opened up a 2-goal advantage. Toby Adeyemo getting on the score sheet. He likes scoring at Vicarage Road. He did it against Chelsea in the Youth Cup last season. He did it in the first team against Blackpool, and now he's done it against Arsenal. 2-0, Omer, what a start.
What a fantastic start for the boys, you know. I think looks like Arsenal a bit shell-shocked. They don't know really what to do. They don't have an answer at the moment. They've given away a few balls here and there, and I think we've dealt with little balls and picked up balls really well. We said 5 minutes ago that we're causing them problems in wide areas, and obviously Blakey with his feet in and around the box. Great trickery and a lovely little tap in for Toby. Again, those boys have got to be in those areas to score. Brilliant.
So patient there, Adrian Blake, and then just one little swivel created that little bit of space to drive the cross in. And Toby Adeyemo doing what all good number 9 should do, Omer. He's being between the goalposts and gets himself an easy tap in.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and like we say, these boys, we're on at them all the time regarding this sort of stuff, and they're really starting to take it on board. You know, it's brilliant.
Work to do for Jack Wilshere's side. Well, still a long way to go, but it's a long way back for Arsenal. This is Rosiak. Lovely bit of skill from Lewis Skelly, who still has it. And this is Sousa. And the header is wide, though. It was Rosiak coming in from right back, who got his head on the cross, but didn't trouble Gabriel Ortelli. Watford have a goal kick. Great bit of skill there from Lewis Skelly in the the middle. In fact, it was Benjamin. It was Benjamin who got his head on it. It was a Jimmy Gower coming in behind him, but Benjamin couldn't steer the header on target.
I think we'll have moments of excellence like that from Miles Skelly, Mario. So they're the things we've got to be careful. We're not going to win everything, but we've just got to make sure we manage those areas well.
I suppose a cautionary note. We know from the first team on Saturday how a 2-goal lead doesn't necessarily mean anything, but a game of this magnitude for these youngsters, what a boost and what a start. This is Sousa Adepoku on defensive duty and doing it diligently. Arsenal have a corner. For exciting players, attacking players, they want to be going that way, Omer, don't they? But that's nice to see. That's good to see that, you know, Michael Adepoku knowing his responsibilities defensively.
Yeah, definitely. These boys, you know, they want to attack, of course they do, but we know now the game, you need 10 players, 11 players on the pitch with a goalkeeper to make sure that you're defending properly, so that was great to see.
The corner's an in-swinger that's met powerfully by Harry Amas. Sousa back up into the penalty area. Adeyemo heads it away. Blake is first to it and did well, got his body in the way there, Adrian Blake, and gets his side up the pitch with a free kick.
Yep, very clever there from Blake. He used his body well, provoked the foul, stopped the game there, and then we can restart. Brilliant.
I mean, you know, up until a few weeks ago, he was the one, wasn't he, that I think probably everybody knew a little bit about. He got on as a substitute in the League Cup, and we were perhaps expecting him to be the way he was on the bench a couple of times in the league. He's rather been surpassed by Toby getting on and Jack Greaves' goal, but he's still got bundles of talent, Adrian Blake, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's still really early for a lot of these boys, so whatever opportunities that they've had, I think they have to be happy with it, and they have to continue to do and work hard the way they are, you know. Yeah, he's got great talent, and he needs to keep refining to make himself better.
And still so young, he's still only 17. Here's Benjamin. Charlie Davis with a foul on the edge of the penalty area, right on the edge. Certainly Bradley Ibrahim trying to convince the referee that it was inside the box. But, Robert Clausen, who's our official.
Mario likes to hit these from here. He's good with free kicks from this sort of area as well. Whether they've got something planned or not, we'll see.
It's number 7 in your picture, Mario Okoye. Rosiak, the right back, is there as well. Gabriel Ortelli has lined up a 3-man wall, still wants it to inch left a little bit.
We've just got to make sure we pick up the rebounds, nobody between lines.
Okoye Dubry goes for the far corner, it's parried away by Ortelli. Walters picks up the loose ball, puts it out on the touchline. And then the shot is just over the bar. That was a fine effort. But, just a foot too high. I think Royal Waters and Watford survive. The 2-0 advantage is intact. But, it's almost more potent than the free kick moment. Here's Adepoku. No way around Kwamina, but Watford have a throw.
This is where we can slow the game down a little bit now, being 2-0 up, manage the game. I know it's still early, but...
Here's Adeyemo. Looking to out-muscle Kwamina. So, taking 2 to hold him up. Ibrahim helping out his defender, and Watford want the throw. Goes Arsenal's way. It's a good centre-forward play, good hold-up play that from Toby Adeyemo.
Yeah, good hold-up play, probably just did a little bit too much there. Maybe he needed some support to be able to release the ball off, and then again, we have to make sure that we don't let them out of those areas when it's in that area of the pitch.
Jack Greaves just penalised for getting a little too close to the referee's liking to Adli Ibrahim. 20 minutes on the clock. It's Watford 2, Arsenal 0. Under the lights here at Vicarage Road in the 5th round of the FA Youth Cup. There's Sousa. Cozier-Dubry, who's come in from the left flank. Forced back out towards it by Blake. And Rosiak. Davis and Greaves trying to win it back, and Jack Greaves wins his side a free kick. It was a free kick from Cozier-Dubry, which forced Gabriel Ortelli into his first save of the night. A minute or so ago.
Yeah, made the keeper make a save there, you know, hard and low, not too hard like you said, but hit the target, make a save. You never know what can happen there, it can rebound out.
So you've got good strong hands on it, Gabriel Ortelli, and pushed it far enough away. Certainly not back into the danger area. You can hear him directing his back foot from up here in our position, which is high up in the Graham Taylor stand on the TV gantry. Now here's Blake winning his side of throw.
Yeah, it seems like Arsenal trying to get Mario Dubry inside a little bit now, where he's not getting on the ball, drifts into that little pocket. I think they're getting a bit frustrated, which is good for us. And again, you know, Blakey gets in a position where we can work the ball forwards and gets a throw in there, so good play.
Bit of time here for Josh Mullins. Casey finds Adupoku. Now Aguila. Davis just... Casey rushed a little, but now George Abbott steps in. Doesn't quite find Adrian Blake. Greaves quickly, though, making sure that Cozier-Dubry couldn't turn and had to go back towards his own goal. It's perhaps a bit more of a defensive role for Jack Greaves tonight, Omer.
I think both Jack and Andreas have both done well at trying to cover those little areas to stop balls into people's feet and to stop balls going between lines. I think they've done that really well, and like you said, we've shown energy to try and break on Arsenal, which we've done, and that's where we've got our successes from. So I think they'll have to continue to do that until the game opens up like this.
That's a mistake, and here's Adeyemo, and he looks for Greaves again. Jack Greaves goes for goal early, and well, the goalkeeper had to hold that because Adrian Blake was sniffing for the rebound, and Noah Cooper had to make sure there were no spillages. Jack Greaves from an awkward angle, but forcing the goalkeeper into a save.
Yeah, we know Jack can strike the ball from distance. You know, he's been seen to do it before. I think again, hard and low there, it does it. You know, if it comes off the keeper there, Blakey can tap it in. If he sees Blakey, he can put it across the box. But you know, you've got to make a decision, and it was a good strike.
Just a couple of mistakes creeping in for Arsenal, and that plays into Watford's hands. Arsenal, in fact, were knocked out in the 3rd round last season, 3-0 at Colchester. There's been lots of upsets in this competition this season, and when you look at the sides left in it, Omer, there aren't many big teams. Arsenal, perhaps the one big team left in the competition.
Yeah, I think notoriously, you know, you look at teams and you look at their name, but you know, some teams are quite strong that are not big clubs, you know. And I think Cambridge this year have shown that they've done really well. They're quite strong players. There's still a few in there. I think Leeds are still in there at the minute. There's a few more.
We've just got a little bit of an incident here. Aguila was fouled, and there's a reaction from players on both sides. Just getting involved here. It will be a free kick Watford's way. The referee already has a yellow card out for the Arsenal player who caught Andre Aguila late. But, others wanting to continue the argument. It's Bradley Ibrahim who receives the yellow card.
Yeah, I think the ref has done well to control the game so far. Nice early yellow card, just lets the players know, you know, that they won't tolerate, you know, silly behaviour. Nice to see all the Watford boys around the incident. You know, as long as they're intelligent and clever about what they're doing, I think that shows good togetherness.
Yeah, as coaches, you know, everybody in the media, we see those things up and down the country, go, oh, it shouldn't happen, it shouldn't happen. But for you guys, as long as people don't overstep the mark, you want to see players sticking up for each other.
I think it's important. I think, it shows a togetherness, and it shows the opposition as well that they're not going to get away with trying to, mismanage you, if you like.
Here's Harry Amas. Now George Abbott. Casey finds Agula, first time into Davis, looks for Adepoku. So with the interception for Arsenal. It's a good challenge from Charlie Davis. Might be almost half the size of Lino Sousa, but thou shall not pass. Here's Rosiak for Jack Wilshere's Gunners. So Miles Lewis Skelly. Ferdinand is round Casey. Aguila is doubling up on him though. They find Lewis Skelly. Rosiak finds Cozier-Dubry. Shot took a little deflection. Oh, and Ortelli did really well. Really well
What
to deny Ibrahim. Looks a certain goal.
What a great save from Gabriel there. Come out there to deal with that, and I'm a bit concerned about the player running off the back of us there. We need to make sure we stay on those sorts of things. If we're going to allow them to come inside, we have to make sure we manage that back post.
Well, he stood up big and denies Ibrahim getting one back for Arsenal. They do have a corner, fourth of the night. And it's Ortelli there again at the near post to punch it away. Here's Ibrahim again. Abbott this time standing firm. Sousa nods it back into the penalty area. So Casey that turns it behind for another Arsenal corner.
I think Arsenal's possession at low block for us has been good for us. I think they've turned the ball over. They're trying to do too much, and if we catch them out again and catch them on the counter attack another time, I think it's game over.
Cozier-Dubry with the corner. Abbott battling. There's Jimmy Gower on the edge of the box, but his touch just let the ball roll away from him, and Watford trying to nick it. But Rosiak finds Cozier-Dubry again. The cross is blocked. There will be another corner.
They've dealt with Mario quite well at the moment, been close to him, not allowed him much space. He's found himself drifting into other areas because of it, which is good for us.
The corner's taken quickly. This is Ferdinand, now Cozier-Dubry again. But, a big loud shout from Gabriel Ortelli. He claims that. Might have just been caught by Amari Benjamin as well as he grabbed it. But, he's okay. Whenever you're an underdog, you need your goalkeeper, don't you, Omer? And, certainly the save from the header is the standout one, but he stood firm so far. Gabriel Ortelli has done well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it could be 2-1 now. It's a totally different game then, so those saves are big.
Heading towards the half-hour mark. Watford leading by those 2-0 and 3-0 at Lincoln in the third round, and scored 3 here against Everton in the fourth. Sousa again. Now Rosiak. Gower looking to turn, finds Cozier-Dubry.
I think the biggest threats come from Arsenal down their left side. I think where we're trying to keep Ben Casey, where he's a centre half, in he's playing fullback, but trying to keep him in close to his centre halves. I think it's left them a lot of space down that side to be able to get forwards and link. I think if any goal comes, it will come from that side from there. So that's something we might have to adjust second half.
Again, a little bit of space on the left-hand side for Ferdinand. This is Sousa. Mass heads it away, and Adrian Blake might look to counter. Mass looks for Adeyemo, so bypasses Toby Adeyemo on this occasion.
Yeah, Toby needs to bring that in there. He needs to secure the ball for us and then let us get up the pitch. A little bit of work. That's a little bit of things we need to work on.
Lewis Skelly for Arsenal, who drew 2-2 with Fulham in their last under-18s fixture. It was 10 days ago. Koja Dubry. Lewis Skelly looking for the run of Ibrahim, but it bounces through safely for Gabriel Ortelli.
Yeah, just things starting to open up a little bit for Arsenal in that final third now. We're not staying with runners, they're having too much time on the ball, and we have to be a little bit careful of that.
It's just a good spell for Arsenal. Watford unable really to get out of their half in the last few minutes. Still with that threat on the counter that Arsenal will be wary of. Walters looks for Ferdinand, who is offside. And, this brings a welcome free kick for the home side. Won their most recent game, the only game the 18s have played since the Everton game, was a 1-0 win at Millwall. Charlie Davis scoring a winner in the second half.
Yeah, another scorcher from Charlie actually. One he scored at home was against Millwall as well, and he's done it again away. So yeah, he's been good at that this season.
It's a Millwall home fixture for the under-18s. 5-5, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So Watford free kick. 32 minutes on the clock. A clash of heads, which leaves Adu Poku.
I think it was Michael there, probably committed the foul and probably come off the worst.
Gives us it's going to give us a little break in play here whilst he gets some treatment. I think he fell awkwardly as well on that left shoulder. Chance for the two coaches to get some instructions on.
Yeah, sometimes it's really important, these little moments, you know, whether it's giving them a little nugget or something that you see on the pitch that can help them, whether it's in or out of possession. Use his time wisely. I'm sure the two coaches will do that.
Jack Wilshere with a bigger job at the moment, with his side trailing by 2-0. Adrian Blake, the provider of both. His cross converted by Michael Adepoku inside 2 minutes, putting the defender under pressure.
Is that an own goal?
I think Michael will claim it, won't he?
Yeah.
But, the defender certainly probably got something on it.
Mm.
Great run from Adrian Blake, and that's the perfect start for Watford. And then the second goal, Omer, Michael Adepoku finding Blake again, and was very composed here. Could have played in Greaves, took his time, and then found the space to find Adeyemo.
Yeah, Blake in these positions, he's probably one of the best at his age when he gets in and around the box. You know, he's very tricky 1v1. You know, he can play off both feet. He can dart inside. He can turn outside. He can finish from tight angles. So it's really hard for fullbacks to deal with him, and because they stand off him because they know what he can do, which gives him half a yard to finish. If they stand off him, he'll go inside or outside, which he's just done. And now he's starting to put balls across the box, which is showing an element of maturity to his game. And he's come away with 2 assists so far, so he's been really good.
Pleased to report Michael Adepoku is back on his feet, and looks like he's going to be okay to continue. Just wait to be invited back on by the official. the Arsenal to get us back underway. Now Watford back to their full complement of 11 as Adupoku returns. There's Rosiak for Arsenal.
We're shutting off the middle of the pitch really well at the minute. We're starving their midfielders of the ball, and we're picking up balls really well to be able to counter, and we've just done it again there. So it's something that Arsenal are going to have to adjust as well to be able to get back in this game.
We've got 10 minutes left of this first half, plus a little bit of stoppage time for that injury stoppage. Here's Rosiak for Arsenal, but Blake is able to intercept. So Lewis Skelly for Arsenal finds Ibrahim, who's dropped a little deeper on this occasion. He's been the one that's made those third man runs. Gower gets a little bit of luck. And looks to curl it into the box. It's Mullins that turns it behind for another Arsenal corner.
Yeah, clearances at times have been a bit, need to be a bit better. We've given away too many corners.
Arsenal looking to take these corners quickly, and Rosiak with the delivery. Adupoku half clears. This is Sousa. Good block from Mullins, who stood firm.
Yep, Lino Sousa, another England player. Who was at West Bromwich Albion, got a move to Arsenal. Very good left back, shows some real good qualities in possession. We've kept him really quiet today.
Got to the semi-finals with West Brom, Lino Sousa, before joining Arsenal a year ago. He's going to have a free kick here for a foul by Aguila.
Really need to get in at 2-0 really. We don't really want to be conceding now, this time of the game.
Just pulled back on Amari Benjamin there, under Aguila. Benjamin joins Ibrahim and Ferdinand and Walters in and around the penalty spot. Free kick is dealt with by Charlie Davis.
Yeah, not a great free kick.
So Walters for Arsenal. And Sousa. And so Rosiak and now Ferdinand to have a go at Casey. It takes a deflection off Mullins this time, but that takes it through to Hortelli. There's only one man in the box for Arsenal as well. It's comfortable for the Hornets. And
yeah, I think Arsenal have had to drop so many players into that midfield area to create an overload because we've dealt with them quite well. They've had no one in the box. So that's something, yeah, they're not getting it right at the minute.
Adiemo caught in possession. Lewis Skelly looks to release Cozier Dewberry. It's up against George Abbott. They want it on that left foot. Watford looking to close the shot down. But he finds Sousa and now Ferdinand. And that was brave from George Abbott. Threw his head at it. And that did enough to put Cozier Dewberry off. And
yeah, very brave from George there. Got his head in the way. We asked, we want our defenders to do that. So brilliant from him. Again, Arsenal creeping forwards a little bit too much for us. We'll have to, once they get in at half-time, I'm sure they'll get to talk to them and tell them a few things to help them with that problem. Maybe sitting a little bit too deep.
Just had a chance on the halfway line to hold it up. Lost possession and that then opened it up for Arsenal.
Yeah, Toby done it a little bit earlier as well, and again he's probably tried to do a little bit too much. He's got a little bit too much, so yeah, just need to manage that a bit better.
George Abbott getting treatment. Some of the Watford players and backroom staff are here this evening. Tom Cleverley, you can see there, Christian Cabasele. Amongst, I think James Morris is here. Just a little alarm. Britta Sombalonga is here somewhere. We're on the Graham Taylor side, and some of the Arsenal players are here as well. I think we're expecting likes of Aaron Ramsdale, Martin Odegaard, Rob Holding, Gabriel. So lots of interest in this tie, and and rightly so. And they've got a good game to watch here, which obviously from a Watford point of view is going very well so far, Omer. But this is a good game to watch, and as you say, it's the stellar competition for under-18s. And then there's lots of youngsters in this crowd as well. The academy training was cancelled tonight, wasn't it? So all the younger age groups could come along and watch the 18s. And I think lots of Arsenal youngsters too. It's a great competition and a great night for people to come along and see hopefully some stars of tomorrow.
Yeah, historically the FA Youth Cup's a really important cup, and what with all the other competitions that there are about now, it's still great that it holds meaning, to young players all around the country, and to have first team players coming in and watching and supporting from both clubs is fantastic. Staff as well, and like you say, it's a good occasion, a great occasion for everyone to come and watch and enjoy. And it's been two sides out there fighting to get a result, and at a minute we seem to have the upper hand. So let's hope that continues.
There's Hassane Kamara as well, so next to James Morris.
Is that James Morris? Look at that bad top James Morris is wearing.
It's been great to see him involved, hasn't it, as well? Word for him. I mean, we took he's come a different route, hasn't he? Came via Southampton, got released at 18s, but has come to us. You've seen a lot of him, Omer, and then he's got his chance and he's taken it in the first team.
Yeah, I think sometimes he gets forgotten, because he's a quiet one. He just gets on with his job, and all the younger lads are getting opportunities. But James, like you say, he's at Southampton. He came into ourselves in the 21s, 23s at the time, and he worked hard. He had a great work ethic, great character. Wants to learn, wants to develop, and he's proved that. And he's maintained being in and around the first team squad, and he's got his debuts, and he's started, and he's had some consistency. So it's really pleasing to see that he's doing well. And again, he's patient, and he needs to be patient, and he'll keep working hard and keep developing.
Well, George Abbott is still getting treatment. I think he's going to be okay, but as with all head injuries, then you can't rush these things. It looks like he's going to battle on with the head bandage. Can have a change of shirt as well, because obviously if there's been some blood there, then he needs to get rid of that shirt. So a change of shirt for the Watford centre half, and there'll be no mistaking him, because he's got a big white bandage which has been wrapped around his head. He'll be the man with no number on his back now, because there's no number 5 on the replacement shirt. But Watford will want him back in there. Sure, he will battle on.
Terry Butcher-esque, shall we say, for all those older fans.
Was that 1990?
Well, still old with these young lads now. You ask our players now who Terry Butcher is, they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't. Well, they weren't even thought of then, were they, these boys? Goodness me. It's nice to have someone from my year alongside me, I have to say. We can talk the same language, remember the same players, reminisce about the same times.
Always, mate, always.
Well, George Abbott is back on. 43.5 minutes on the clock, but there will be a considerable amount of injury time now at the end of this first period. And after a lengthy delay, then important now that the boys switch back on and concentrate for however long is left in this first half, Omer, because as you say, the difference between going in at 2-0 and that, such a big advantage to conceding one now and giving the Arsenal a big boost before half time. We're going to have a yellow card here, are we? For the referee wants to book Ben Casey for what he perceives to be some time wasting in taking a throw. It's a little harsh.
Yeah, referee, like I said, I think he's dealt with things quite well today. So
takes the throw. It's a suspicious looking throw after all that, but he finds Adupoku. Trying to find a bit of skill to get some space. The cross is cleared by and now Choudhury under pressure on the edge of his own box, but dealt with it well. It's Harry Mass with the high press, and Mass wins it back, and here's Jack Greaves. And they're going to be 8 minutes added on at the end of this first half, so we're into another 8 minutes to play yet. Watford battling, and Adam Poku has it back.
We've come off first best on all dueling when the ball's fallen out. That we need to keep up, you know.
There's a late challenge on Ortelli here. Watford have another man down, and I think it's going to be a yellow card for Benjamin. So he took his time there, Gabriel Ortelli, before clearing, didn't he? And then got a whack.
Like I said, I think we've picked up second balls really well. Yeah, we let Arsenal back into the game a little bit towards, you know, the last 15-20 minutes of the first half. But it's really important second half we come out, we pick up second balls, because if they start picking up second balls and then playing balls into those dangerous areas, I think we'll have a lot to deal with.
Well, it was 8 minutes to be added on. We're going to have more than that. So Ortelli is now down getting treatment. Third Watford player to need some lengthy treatment in this first period. Can't be too late. Car parks close at 10.
No, yeah. Another eight minutes of stoppage time is. We have to remain focused. We have to remain switched on. Sometimes things like this in the game can unsettle you, so we just need to make sure we're switched on.
See Dan Gosling on the bench with his ex-Bournemouth teammate Charlie Daniels. Tell us a little bit about Charlie, Omer, and your relationship with him.
Yeah, Chaz, you know, he came in like last season as well, and the season before, like sort of was around the groups and just having a look around and seeing what was what. I think it was coming off the tail end of his career, and you know, he shows great tactical knowledge. He works really hard. He gets in early. He gets on the grass. He preps well with Armand. And you know, he's a great person to have around. The lads, you know, he's played the game at a high level, and you know, he's got all that to give. So he's an experienced ex-player. You know, he's done his groundwork when it comes to being a coach. And he's still learning and developing as we all are. You know, I don't think you ever stop doing that, no matter what age you are. And I think he's got people around him, you know, like Jimmy, like myself, like Richard Shaw. Who can help support him in whatever he needs as well, his development with his coaching. So yeah, he's been really good. He's really good with the guys. You know, not only on the grass, but also he's got a good way, a good way of managing the players. And yeah, it's nice watching him work.
He seems a really calm individual. We saw sort of a little sort of glimpse of him in the previous round when he had the cameras following him. Seems like one that can keep his emotions in check, and presumably that means that you can get good, clear some instructions and advice across to the lads. Yeah,
I'm not sure about that. I think it's because he just don't know what he's doing. But no, not really. Yeah, he seems quite a cool character on the side. You know, he takes his time. He's methodical about his thinking, and yeah, he's got a good mannerism about him.
Well, we're about to get back underway. Gabriel Ortelli is patched up and is okay. But, he will take this free kick. Watford in by 2-0. We're in injury time, into the first half. Another head injury, or another. It was Adepoku challenged with Komina. Referee wants a word with Michael Adepoku, and I think he's going to go into the notebook now. The yellow cards are starting to tot up, a couple for each team now.
You better ring the missus up, John, and tell her you're not going to be home for dinner.
I might not be home for breakfast at this rate. 8 minutes were indicated, 4 have gone, and we basically haven't seen any action. This injury time has been basically injuries. So
yeah,
it's a little bit late there on Kwamina.
Yeah, I don't like it when games get like this. You know, it's stop-start. You want to see the game go. You want to see it flow. It's one of the most frustrating things when, listen, you can't help injury and stuff like that, but it is frustrating.
So important for the lads to keep focused. You see Arsenal just trying to knock the ball about, keep warm. George Abbott has called his players together, and they're in just a little gathering. It's all these things that can go on in the game that you have to deal with, and it's, as we say, that the concentration is going to be so important, isn't it, Omer?
It's nice to see them do that. You know, they haven't been called over by the coaches, so they've done it themselves. Got together and sort of probably said, look, let's get our heads on the game. Let's keep focused. We've got like 8 minutes to get in for half time. No goals, I'm sure they'll be saying. You know, if we can score one in between then and now, it'd be brilliant. But yeah, so that was good to see.
Kamara is okay. He will be invited back on. 2-0 Watford lead. And we're back underway with Rosiak looking for Choudhury. George Abbott heads it away. Hamas is too strong for Gower. And foul on Jack Greaves gives Watford a free kick just short of the halfway line.
Second balls again, picking up those second balls to negate any pressure from them, I think, has been key as well first half.
Hamas with a clever ball forward. Just went too far infield for Adrian Blake. And, Arsenal able to clear. So Ferdinand, good strong challenge from Charlie Davis. Couldn't quite win the second one off Ibrahim. Adepoku's just got to be a little careful. The referee plays the advantage as the ball is with Ferdinand. Greaves pokes it away from him, but it comes to Lewis Skelly. And then Choudhury with a shot, takes a nick. And it'll be an Arsenal corner. The referee's just having a little word with Michael Adepoku, just I think to say that to be careful, one would imagine. He just picked up a booking. I think this Arsenal's 8th corner of the first half. Bodies tumble, but it's overhit. But it's about the second time they've done that with very, very few in the box.
Yeah, they don't seem to have much physical presence for set plays and corners. I mean, if you look at our team, we seem quite strong, quite powerful, and they don't seem to have that. So I don't think that will be the threat. I think the threat will be if we allow them to play short and then work the ball into the box with trickery.
Well, into the 8th of the 8 added minutes. But we'd expect them to be there to be at least a couple more. So Gabriel Otelli clears for the young Hornets. Arsenal really in need of something before the referee blows his whistle for half-time. It's Ibrahim. Sit back from Benjamin. Greaves is there, read it well. And Watford have done that well in this first half. And they've played their way out as well. They haven't just relied on balls, and now they may break with Adepoku and Blake and Adeyemo. Adepoku leading the charge, Blake outside him. Still Michael Adepoku, perhaps just tried to do too much. Blake keeps it alive, gets it back from Aguila, and then is fouled, and Watford have a free kick.
Brilliant build-up from deep, right in from our half into their half. You know, created well, linked up well, managed to get in around the box. Maybe Michael should have lent that ball off there to Blakey to be able to deliver again. So decision making there around the box could have been better. But what a great build-up.
And as I say, I mean, the focus we'll see the goals again at half time. But yeah, they've showed great composure when they have nicked the ball back in their own half. They haven't just lumped it clear looking for Tomi Adeyemo. We saw there Greaves and Davis very happy to play short passes.
Yeah, definitely, and they're able to do it. So sometimes you've got to be able to control the game by keeping the ball.
We're heading towards the 10th minute of injury time at the end of this first half. You mentioned about Arsenal need something. How about Watford finishing the half as they started it? Aguila and Blake over the free kick. And you mentioned perhaps Watford might have the advantage physically and certainly with height here. Adeyemo and Abbott and Mullins are forward. Blake runs over it. Here's Aguila. Takes a nick off a defender.
It's got to miss that first man out.
We'll have it with Mullins though. In swinging cross, and Abba with the header down. Didn't quite have the power to really trouble the goalkeeper. Went straight into the grateful arms of Noah Cooper. Masson, Davis do well. Aguilar is fouled by Benjamin. The referee just points to his head as if to say, just focus to both sides here with these some of these niggly fouls. Benjamin's on a yellow card as well, of course. Injury time's been going that long. My phone has turned itself off. 10.5 minutes played now. I'll tell it to clear. It's towards Omer. It might fall his way. It just bounced away from him. This is Ibrahim. But Mullins wins it back, and here's Jack Greaves driving forward, trying to play into the path of Adupoku. And his cross is deflected up in the air, and the goalkeeper can make the catch. Couple of moments right at the end of injury time here at in this first half. Watford just reminding Arsenal of their threat as well, Omer. And there is the half-time whistle after 56 minutes of the first half. Watford lead by 2-0. What a first half. Michael Adupoku inside 80 seconds, putting Watford in front. And then Toby Adeyemo, who we'll hear from at length during the half-time interval, doubling the lead on 13 minutes. Gabriel Ortelli has made a couple of important saves, a couple of important interventions to keep the clean sheet intact. And, well, I'm sure in the pre-match meeting, Omer, this is perhaps beyond their wildest dreams to be 2-0 up against Arsenal at half-time. We see here, what a start. Blake finding Adupoku, and well, that was ripping up any scripts, wasn't it? Just gave them such a boost.
Yeah, I think, like you say, the 2 goals we scored were great goals and things that, you know, that the boys work on the training ground on a regular basis, you know, and it's nice to see Blakey making those decisions there. That's got us those goals, you know, and I'm not sure about, you know, the boys are confident at the minute. You know, you think there's not many too many teams out there at the minute where players are in and around the first team and training and getting the opportunity. So our boys are really confident, and I think we've gone into this game thinking, you know what, you know, you said it earlier, you alluded to it earlier, John, about teams going out the FA Youth Cup, big teams as well. And Arsenal, you know, haven't been great over the last couple of seasons. So, you know, the boys are full of confidence, and they proved that, and they've gone out there and they've done the damage early. Now we just need to make sure that we don't let them back in the game. And I know it's easier said than done, but there was opportunities there for Arsenal to be able to score. And we need to just make sure that we stay disciplined, we stay have a good structure behind the ball, which we've managed to do. We've picked up second balls really well. They haven't caused us too many problems, if you like, with their top players, what they deem to be their top players, in, you know, Miles in midfield, and then Mario, who's been quite quiet on this side, who's drifted into the middle of the park a little bit more now to get on the ball. Still shows that threat to get behind our defence. I still think our weakness is going to be down that right side, or their left side possibly. I think a lot has come from that side, and I think we have to manage that and maybe tweak that second half. And I think they will probably switch Mario to the opposite side second half, to maybe cause us a problem. And if he gets hold of the ball on that side and he's got time to punish, then there could be a little bit of a problem there. But in general, I think we've controlled it well. I think we've showed confidence. I think we've got up the pitch, and like you said, we've showed a variety of ways of being able to skin the cat. And that's, can we get the ball forwards? Can we get it into our big men like Toby, Michael, who are strong, powerful boys? Can we get up and help and support? And if we haven't done that, we've managed to work the ball out in tight areas and get out and get beyond them. So it's been really pleasing to see, and I think second half will be really, really interesting.
Well, it's been a great first half, and let's hope the second half can continue in that vein. At half-time at Chile Vicarage Road, it's Watford 2, Arsenal 0.
Live action.
Right, Toby, firstly, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about growing up in Hackney what it was like growing up and playing football.
Yeah, so obviously I started playing football when I was about 4 or 5 years old, as far as I can remember. I started off by just going to the park with my dad, and he would literally just throw a ball at me and just kick it back into his hands, like put some cones up, just try to dribble like in and out through the cones. Then I joined a team called Springfield FC when I was about 6 years old, and no stress on my mind, just enjoying football, and then just continued throughout primary school. And I was in year 3 and I was playing for the year 6s at the time, so that was great. And then start of year 7, I joined Rapid FC. And for me, Rapid FC is where it started for me, for real, because that's when I really started to kick on and I really started to realise that I have a chance in this football industry. So obviously my family, my mum and dad and my siblings, they were very, very supportive. Like, I owe them everything really. Like, my mother used to cancel her work shifts and my dad too, just to take me to football.
And then your step into the professional footballing world came through Sunday League. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about how?
Yeah, so obviously coming through Sunday League, I was doing well over there, and then I got noticed through Watford, so I went into Watford. But funny enough, I joined the development squad. So I was 13 at the time, and my mother, she read the emails wrong for the development, and I turned up on the day of under-16s, and I was actually 13 at the time, so I must have played in that game, and I must have scored about 2 goals, and Danny Dolan was like, wow, like, who's this kid here? And so just playing there, then after he invited me back for another game with the under-16s, and I did well there again. Then he's like, nah, I got to get this guy in. He was actually on an age group, which was under-14s at the time, so I just went into the under-14s, and Tom Hart was the coach at the time, and I had a good, successful trial, scored on my debut in the 14s, and I got signed within like 2 weeks, so that was an amazing feeling. I'm grateful for what Tom Hart did for me, honestly. My dad used to say to me, you're constantly always on trial, just every day, give it your best, and make sure you never take every day for granted. So ever since then, I've just been trying to play as if I'm on trial, so I'm always hungry, and I always want to strive for more.
Great. Well, this one that I'm going to show you here, obviously Chelsea Youth Cup. What was that moment like?
That moment there, it meant a lot because it was an important goal, crucial just before half-time. So it was good to get the goal. I just saw, because I usually press defenders when I play. I don't give them no time on the ball, so I just continued my press, and then the keeper made a mistake and I just pounced onto it and then just tapped it in the back of the net. And I mean, coming from there, I just believe that I just never drop my head, always had my head up high, and just continue to strive for greatness and just give 100% every day. So I felt like I've come a long way from that.
Yeah, nice. And then we're going to move forward slightly to Reading, not so long ago. Yeah. Just talk us through this moment when you came off with Joe.
Yeah, so coming on, Slaven just told me, look, you're here for a reason. I just want you to go on the pitch and just don't feel any type of way. You're here. Just make sure you just go out and put yourself about, try to be busy and just enjoy it, really. So after he said that to me, all my nerves just kind of went, and I was just excited to be on the pitch. Like,
what was that moment like? Where does that rank, I suppose, at that time? Was that right at the top? That
was right at the top. Honestly, for me personally, I feel like coming up, growing up, like training from Sunday League, that was the ultimate goal to make my professional debut. And to do that, I mean, I'm just so grateful, honestly, so grateful.
Do you have your family in the crowd that day?
Yes, my family were in the crowd. My mum, my dad, and my sisters, actually. It was a surreal moment. Like, I actually spotted them from the stands and then just gave me an extra massive boost to just go out there and make them proud.
So, in the lead up to Blackpool, of course, you've been in first team training. Firstly, what has that been like, and how great has it been, challenging yourself against some of the best players?
So the first team training has been absolutely amazing. Like, the different intensity, just giving it 100%, like playing with the players of a top level. Like, they've really helped me, settle in, like Will, Hassane, Hamza, like they've all really helped me, so it's just been fantastic.
And when were you told that you were actually going to make the bench for that game as well?
I was actually told in the morning of the day, so yeah.
And what was that like when you got the news for that?
When I heard I was on the bench, I was just like, wow, like anything can happen in a game of football. Like, I just got to be ready and prepare ready because I could be coming on here.
Yeah, and then obviously eventually you do come on. What is that moment like? You coming on there, looking back at that, what does that make you?
I mean, coming on, for me it was very, very special because in front of all the amazing fans, like to come on and make my home debut is just this terrific feeling that is indescribable really, because it actually means a lot in front of the fans who just, and it was even Graham Taylor Day as well, which makes the moment even more special. Like, it was so fantastic, honestly.
So this moment happens.
Yeah.
We stop at Mateus, he's going to take a shot.
Yeah.
You're just to the right there. What are you thinking before he shoots?
As a natural striker, you're always up for the rebound, so I believe if he didn't score, the ball would just drop in an area where I got to be in a position where I can get my foot on it, throw my body at it, anything. So at this moment, I'm following it in, and then it happens.
So that moment, just sort of let us know, what did that feel like? What was that moment like?
Couldn't believe it. Oh my gosh. Wow. It's crazy.
What is that like as well? And going over to celebrate with Jack Greaves, of course.
It's an indescribable feeling once again. Like, Jack Greaves, I mean, that guy is an absolute legend for me. Like, sharing that moment with him is something I'll remember for the rest of my life, honestly.
And this moment here, when eventually it hits the back of the net, and the roar of the rookery.
That was loud. That roar was loud. Oh my gosh, I've never heard anything so loud like that in my life before, honestly. That I tried to celebrate and keep it cool, then the roar hit me, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I just done? It was crazy. But in that moment, the ball just dropped in the area, and I felt like I'm gonna get my foot on this, and I just made sweet contact with the ball and it hit the back of the net. And yeah, it was just amazing, really.
But you also put your hands on your head.
Yeah, I was in so much shock, like I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't even know where to look because the stadium was actually packed, so it was just crazy to see all the fans, and obviously my family was there. It was just mental, really. It was just absolutely mental.
When eventually you do get into the dressing room after making that incredible moment, history, I mean, what was it like in the dressing room? What were the players like? What was that moment?
Like, all the players were just like, just hugging me, just throwing water on me. It was an amazing moment, honestly. Like, they even told me to do a speech, and in the speech I said, look, boys, fantastic win, 3 points onto the next. And they just started laughing, like they'll say, like, well done, and just congratulating me, really.
Did you ever get a chance to speak to your family as well before the game and after the game?
Yeah, I told them, look, obviously I'm on the bench. There's a possibility I could go on.
What did they say afterwards as well?
To be fair, my mother was crying tears of joy. My little sisters were crying. My dad was so proud of me. Like, honestly, like that moment there for me, it hit home, that moment, and I'm just so grateful.
And you mentioned the Graham Taylor match day as well.
Yeah.
Scoring in the 72nd minute.
It's crazy. Scoring in the 72nd minute. The roar from the fans was even louder because of it. Like, it was just crazy. And then looking back at it now, Watford's greatest ever manager, I think he'll be proud of me too, and I feel like I did him proud.
And do you remember much of this interview as well?
Honestly, I just want to say dreams do come true. Like, I've dreamt about this moment, scoring on my home debut. I mean, the fans are incredible. It's just an amazing feeling, honestly.
Do you remember much of that?
Yeah, it was such an amazing feeling, man. Like, I tried to keep cool, but I was shaking at the time because I still couldn't believe it. I was still in shock, but now that I've calmed down a bit now. But then it was just amazing. Like, it was a surreal moment, and it still is, to be fair. But it's just crazy. And I'm just so grateful for everyone giving the opportunity.
And the future for you now?
Yeah, so now I just want to kick on, and I believe anything's possible. I'm ready to make my family proud, ready to make this club proud. I'm just ready to just kick on and just keep going. I'm going to use this as a building block, day by day, give it 100% in training, and just continue from this. And I just really want to push on.
Brilliant. Cheers, Toby.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, welcome back to Vicarage Road. Good timing as the Hornets just making their way back at the start of this second period. Looks like Arsenal are going to make definitely one change at the interval. Hassane Kamara, the man who scored the winning goal in the fourth round in Arsenal's 3-2 win at Newcastle in the 88th minute. He's ready to come on. I'm looking, I think it might be Seb Ferdinand, Omer, who has been withdrawn. He's the only one I think that I can't make out that's out there.
I think you're right, John.
So we're almost ready to go. Hassane Kamara, a boyhood Arsenal fan. So a couple of goals and a couple of assists for the under-18s this season. He's going to straight swap by the looks of things on the left-hand side.
I think we should be expecting Arsenal to come out really fast and aggressively. I'm sure Jack Wilshere would have had a few sound words for the players at half-time.
So it could be, well, we always say it, don't we? And any team is behind at half-time, it's going to be a big first 10 minutes, or it was a big first 13 minutes in the first half for the Hornets. As Toby Adeyemo battles down by the corner flag. It's Arsenal that will have the throw in. So as you were for the Hornets, George Abbott, I can say, has got a shirt with a number back on now. Still has his head bandaged. What would Charlie Daniels and Armand Kavaja have been saying at half-time, Omer?
I think they would have been really happy with the 2-0 from the first half. I think there would be a few elements in there that they'd be talking about in respect of things to be careful of and to be switched on and focused, and to do much more of the same in the first half, really.
So, Josh Mullins gives Gabriel Ortelli an early touch in this second period. For defending the Vicarage Road end.
Arsenal giving us far too much time at the back, not really pressing us at the minute. I'm sure that will change as the game goes on, but we seem to be managing it okay at the minute.
So Josh Mullins, who it's a longer ball this time, looking for Adeyemo. Headed the ball on to Kwamina.
Yeah, I think Toby has to recognise what's around him then and just bring the ball in. Even if he flicks it, there's no one there to run onto it. So these are little things that our young players need to learn and develop slowly and surely.
This is Tino Kwamina again for Arsenal. It's for Cozier-Dubry, quickly closed down by Blake. Gara looks for Rosier. Amas stands firm and Blake helps him out. Harry Amas clears for Watford.
Yeah, you can see Arsenal start with a good tempo to the game. They want to get things moving quickly. They want things to happen. Again, it could be to our detriment or our benefit. We'll see next 5 minutes.
Cozier-Dubry comes central and shoots left-footed. Ortelli is behind it. Makes the save. He does look like you singled him out before the game, Omer, and he is their go-to man, isn't he, Cozier-Dubry?
Yeah, he is. I think we've kept him, like I said first time, we've kept him quite quiet, but he can always, one little moment, one glimpse of magic, and that's enough.
So back out on the right-hand side this time. Harry Amas did well, and he finds Blake with his clearance. again, Watford showing composure, not panicking at the back.
And I think if you're gonna hedge Amario against Harry Amas with pace, I think they're both quite similar. So that will be, Harry will be able to deal with that. I think if you get the ball into Amario's feet a little bit more, he might cause us a little bit more problems.
Arsenal with a free kick, foul on Benjamin by Josh Mullins. Slightly surprised with the stands of the first half that wasn't a yellow card for Josh Mullins. But he escapes. This is no Sousa for Arsenal. Now Komina. Arsenal probing, but giving the ball away. And Ortelli clears. Another one for Adeyemo to battle with. It actually sails over him, but he's fouled the defender, Toby Adeyemo. Arsenal will have a free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, Toby's got to go up and have a battle up with them. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to give the odd foul away as a striker, especially Toby's sort of stature. Just needs to be a little bit more clever about the way he does it at times.
Miles Lewis-Skelly once again. Seen a lot of the ball tonight for Arsenal. First touch for Kamara, the substitute. So Sousa has ran a couple of challenges. Looks for Kamara. Ted Davis steps in and clears for Watford. Arsenal are currently 6th in the Under-18 Premier League South. 13 points from 11 games. So Walters, that's a sloppy ball. And Amas can clear, can't find Adeyemo.
Yeah, far too many loose passes from Arsenal in that mid and final third, allowing us to get on the ball, allowing us to be able to at least cause them a problem. I think that's been their biggest problem. Like, again, they're too much on the ball, we're nicking and we're countering, so it's good for us.
Can Watford counter on this occasion? It's Adeyemo with Blake outside him. Here is Adrian Blake. No way round Walters on that occasion.
Tempo of the game seems to have slowed down a little bit now. I don't know whether two teams are sort of getting tired or...
Ben Casey has just stayed down there after that tackle as he turned. He's holding the back of his right leg. I don't know if that's a bit of cramp or he's actually pulled something. Watford are down to 10 at the moment. This is Gower. Just stumbled over the challenge of Greaves, and Arsenal will have a free kick on the edge of the box. Watford need to get some attention to Ben Casey.
I'm not sure if this was he's been injured with a calf strain. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully it isn't that. I could be wrong about that. Maybe he's got cramp where he hasn't played. He's been injured for a while, so.
Watford already without Hamza Balogun, who played at right back in the previous round. Aaron Ben missing tonight as well through injury.
Yeah, we've had a few crop up. All our fullbacks seem to be injured at the minute. Ryan Andrews, Hamza, Alfie King, all picked up little niggles at the minute. So something we need to make sure we're managing.
One still standing, Harry Amas, Watford's left back. High hopes for him. It's a 15-year-old. He's holding his own. Doesn't look out of place in this company.
Yeah, he's become a hot prospect, if you like, for Watford. He's doing well in his own age group. He's playing up with the 18s. He's been in with England. He seems to be managing everything quite well. Like so, he's kept Amario quiet tonight. Yeah, he's doing really well. Obviously we don't want to You know, want him to keep his feet firmly on the ground. We want him to keep working hard, which he will do. But yeah, it seems he's got a bright future.
So from Essex, goes to Debden Park High School in Loughton. He's been with Watford since the age of 9. And he travelled with the first team to the FA Cup tie at Reading. He had to get permission from the headmaster and his mum to miss school so he could train with the first team on this Thursday and Friday. Ben Casey's back on his feet. Jack Wilshere will be wanting his side to play a little quicker, I'm sure, and so maybe Okoye can conjure up something from this free kick as we head towards the 10-minute mark of this second half.
Yeah, coming back to the academy again. You know what we've managed to achieve this season so far with young players and what they're doing and the opportunities that they're getting has been brilliant. It's lovely to see, and hopefully long it may continue.
Well, some defending to do for Watford here. He went close in the first half from this sort of range, Okoye. So a good angle for the left footer. And he hits the post.
Same sort of free kick again.
Well, I think Arsenal have got a penalty here. Well, the post saved the Hornets from the free kick. But from the clearance, that's Watford tried to get the ball out of play, out of the penalty area.
Yeah, not what we needed right now at this point in the game. I think how long? 55 minutes gone. You know, we could have done with holding out a little bit longer before giving away a penalty. It is what it is. We need to make sure maybe Gabe's, hopefully he'll pull off a great save. Coming back to the free kick, same as the first half for Mario, keeping it, hard and low on target, and it causes problems. So, was it a soft penalty?
It was Adrian Blake on the back of Kamara. I'd be disappointed if he was going away from goal, having survived the free kick. But now Okoye from 12 yards to halve the deficit for Arsenal. Up against Ortelli. Sends him the wrong way.
Now we've got a game on our hands.
Watford 2, Arsenal 1. Mario Okoye sending Gabriel Ortelli the wrong way from the penalty spot. After the foul by Adrian Blake was penalised. Confident penalty. As you say, Omer, game very much on now. Haven't seen anything for the Hornets in the final third in this second half.
No, I still think that Arsenal giving away the ball cheaply will give us another opportunity. But more importantly, we need to stay focused and disciplined, and like we spoke about first half, that structure behind the ball, making sure we pick up second balls and being able to keep it with quality, I think is going to be important.
Jimmy Gower has been replaced by Jack Wilshere, and on comes Ethan Nwaneri. Arsenal's youngest ever first team player, made his debut in the Premier League earlier this season in September at Brentford. Arsenal actually play Brentford at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. He's been with Arsenal since the age of 9. Here's Rosiak for Arsenal. Ibrahim with the cross, looking for Benjamin. Mullin's not letting him turn, and Davis brings it away and plays a good ball, and suddenly it's 2 against 2 with Adepoku leading the charge for Watford.
Great recovery run from Lino there.
Sousa forces him out wide, and Arsenal now have men back. Adepoku goes on the outside, gets the cross in towards the near post. Adeyemo can't get there, and then it's penalised as Sousa clears. Arsenal will have a free kick inside their own penalty area.
Exactly the same theme as first half again, trying to do too much in and around our box, trying to play, trying to create, with no real quality at times, and us being able to hit on the counter with a great ball from Charlie Davis, seeing Michael Adepoku to get him away. And to be fair to Lino Sousa, recovered brilliantly, to get himself goal side to stop Michael from going forward. So good defending from Arsenal there.
58.5 minutes on the clock. 2-1 Watford lead. Rosiak under pressure from Blake, but turns away from him. Davis missed his tackle.
He's in.
And here's Choudhury up against Abbott. Couple in the box to aim for. Goes himself, and it's wide. That's the danger of Mario Choudhury with that left foot playing on the right, but didn't quite have enough bend and curl on the effort to trouble Gabriel Ortelli.
Arsenal's rotations there, you know, Mario coming into that midfield area from a wide area, pulling Blakey inside, then leaving space for the fullback on the outside, and then Mario running from deep to get beyond. It's good play, something that we need to be aware of.
Well, Ben Casey, who went down just in the build up to that free kick and then penalty, he's going to be replaced here.
Tom Georgiou, it looks like.
And Tom Georgiou, that 15-year-old. It was quite a moment for him. Was released by Arsenal before coming to Watford.
Yeah, another one of our academy products who's done well at the under-16s this year. Had the opportunity to play up in the 18s. Good aggression. Not his usual position, full-back. He's more of a centre half, but I'm sure he'll do the job.
Adeyemo helps the ball on. And Adepoku is away from Sousa this time. This is an opportunity for Watford. Looks for Greaves, who drives it wide. Punches the floor in frustration.
Took the ball really well in his stride there, Greaves. He making a deep run in the box. Michael got away from Lino Sosa really well. He had a great touch, and he's just got to show a little bit more composure there to strike that ball.
It was a great first touch, wasn't it, to set up the opportunity. Just tracked it wide.
Yeah, one of Greaves' qualities is first touch, alleviating pressure and getting the ball into the area will cause a problem. He does it really well.
That would have been the perfect response to Arsenal's go back. Now here's Abbott getting there ahead of Choudhury. Just past the hour mark. Rosiak for Arsenal and Ibrahim. Nice little bit of skill from Choudhury. There's Royal Waters. Watford winning the ball back, as they have done so many times in that midfield area. So Sousa with a header away. This is Kamara. There's a run at Georgiou. And now Benjamin. And Ibrahim forces Choudhury wide. No one wants to shoot for Arsenal. Might come to Benjamin. Mullins with the block. And Blake does well, because he wins his side a throw up by the halfway line. And no one wanted to take the responsibility there for the Gunners, Omer, and Watford survived.
Arsenal trying to walk the ball into the net, and you know, we've got away with that one there, because that could have been a goal. Good block from Josh Mullins there to stop the shot. We just need to regain a little bit more composure now in possession, and just slow the game down just a little bit for ourselves.
Arsenal looking to score a goal reminiscent of their coach, Jack Wilshere, and that goal of the season effort for Arsenal against Norwich. Doesn't seem that long ago, does it now? Here's Blake, but he was just offside as he tried to help that ball on for Adeyemo.
We seem to have the upper hand in winning the battle, definitely. You know, physical prowess and getting around the first and second balls. We've done that really well tonight. We've just got to try to not allow them so much of the ball.
Walters for Arsenal. Ibrahim, sit back from Choudhury. Goes alone, it's Parry, but comes to Kamara! Arsenal back on level terms. Hassane Kamara, the super sub, scored the winner in the last round. He drags Arsenal level. It was Ibrahim with the effort that was parried by Ortelli. Arsenal have regrouped in this second half, and now they're back on level terms. Watford 2, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, again, allowing them just too much possession, working the ball in and around our box, and now the wide men sort of causing a few problems for us, working the ball across the pitch. And Gabes has pulled off a save, but he's left the ball in an area that's allowed them to come on to. I think it's come off Tom Georgiou, and he's tapped it in on that far side. But we just need to, like I said, just regain a little bit more composure. Let's keep the ball a little bit, have little passages of play without giving Arsenal the ball too much, because now they're starting to cause us problems. We need to communicate a little bit more between each other and deal with these boys with these rotations that they're making.
Well, 2 goals in 9 minutes, and parity is restored at Vicarage Road. And, certainly Arsenal in the ascendancy in this second half. Charlie Davis with a foul that will be penalised by a yellow card. But, Watford are going to make another change here.
Jack Taylor.
Exactly. Jack Taylor is ready to come on. But, free kick taken too quickly by Arsenal to get him on, so we'll continue. His Lewis Skelly. And Kamara is onside, and he sets it up for Sousa. Parry by Ortelli, but Mikael Rosiak fires in the rebound, and Arsenal have turned it right round in this second half. There no stopping them. Ortelli doing his best, but Watford having no answer at the moment. And Mikael Rosiak fires Jack Wilshere's side in front for the first time on the evening. 66 minutes played, Watford 2, Arsenal 3 now.
I think the lads are shocked out there at the minute. They've stopped playing, they've stopped moving the ball, they've stopped getting after it, they've stopped picking up first and second balls. All the things we said that were important, they just need to try and get some of that composure back and get back in the game.
So here comes the second change for Watford. Andre Aguilar is going to be replaced by Jack Taylor.
Yeah, Jack Taylor more of a holding midfielder. I think Charlie's probably intentions there was to thicken up that that pocket in there, stopping Nathan Wanrieri dropping in there to pick up the ball. But it's probably the subs come a little bit too late because he's just conceded that third goal. But yeah, probably throw Jack a little bit higher and play a 4-2-3-1 rather than a 4-3-3.
Well, we move into the final quarter. It's been a cracking cup tie. And, Arsenal showing all their battling qualities to get back in this game and now turn it around. Can the Hornets do it all over again? And this is Lewis Skelly. It's going to be another penalty.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Tom Georgiou down this side again. Probably stuck out his leg there just at the wrong time. It's cost us a penalty there.
Tom Georgiou with the foul on Miles Lewis Skelly. And what promised to be a memorable night for the Hornets is now going horribly wrong.
John, we talk about momentum in the game, and you know, looking at the first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half, the momentum was all with us. You know, we had loads of energy, loads of desire to go and deal with the ball, and Arsenal didn't show much, but momentum in the game and those swings in the game can be vitally important, and it just seems like Arsenal have got their tails up at the moment.
Another opportunity for Mario Cozier-Dubry. He went to Ortelli's right with his first penalty, sent him the wrong way. left footed, it goes the other way this time, but it's the same result. Watford have a mountain to climb. Maduka Okoye makes it 4-2 for Arsenal, his second of the night. The Arsenal players celebrate. They might just think now they've done enough to secure a quarter-final at home to either Cambridge or Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I feel for the boys at this moment, you know, from the game to go from what it was to what it is probably undeserved. And this is football, you know, and they now have to show some real character for the last, 20 minutes of the game. You know, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. They've scored 4 goals in 20 minutes, so, you know, they're still there for us to get back in this game.
Well, both sides taking their time to regroup here. Watford have just all gone over to Charlie Daniels, who's just passed some instructions over. Arsenal have had a team huddle down by the corner flag as they celebrate that 4th goal. Is there a way back for the young Hornets? They are caught in the eye of a red and white storm here. That's 3 goals in 4 minutes to turn this tie around. Watford shell-shocked. Looks like there's a change of shape. Omer as Greaves is fouled. Just like they've gone to 3 at the back.
Push Tom central. Gone with George and Josh Mullins with two pivots in there. With it looks like Greaves is playing as a wing back now.
Here's Charlie Davies and George Abbott playing on the left of the back 3. Here's Mullins, plays the right of the 3 centre halves. Looks for Adeyemo. Can't quite keep the ball in, Toby Adeyemo.
Yeah, Arsenal on the front foot now, as they would be with the score the way it is. Just need to make sure we stay in the game.
It's almost like a boxer recovering from a sort of an 8 count, isn't it, Omer? That Watford need to clear their heads and just get through the next 5 minutes and see if they can score the next goal and put some doubt back in these Arsenal players' minds. And it's Harry Amas trying to do just that, finding Charlie Davies. Can't find Adepoku. Amas wins it back and finds Blake, creator of both Watford's goals in that first half, and looks for Amas around the outside. Actually will come for Davies, who don't think he quite kept the ball in. It will be an Arsenal goal kick rather than a Watford corner. 18 minutes left. But rather shell-shocked Vicarage Road. Kamara on 65, Rosiak 66, and Choudhury penalty on 69. It was only 10 minutes prior to that Choudhury's first penalty had halved the deficit. Just got to clear their heads, Omer, haven't they? And just trying to remember all the things they did well for the first, sort of 56 minutes.
Yeah, you know, it's easier said than done. You know, like I said, they're probably shocked about what's going on out there. This is definitely a great learning tool for our boys. And like I say, show some. We'll see now who's got the character out there to really try to make things happen or try to stop things from happening.
Ball's well won back by Georgie. Finds Adeyemo, lays it off for Greaves. He spots Blake on the left-hand side. Blake's ball looking for Adeyemo. The goalkeeper had to hold on and did well. Noah Cooper.
Like you say, John, we've just got to keep trying to do those things that got us the success in the first place.
So Arsenal displaying some confidence now. For so long, second best, and looks out of sorts. Good work from Jack Taylor. And a dangerous ball back to Abbott, but got away with it. Blake does well. But then loses out to Ibrahim. And here's Choudhury, he's on a hat-trick. That's perhaps one trick too many, but then he holds off Hamas. Please Nwaneri. The parry from Mortelli will come to Choudhury.
Yeah, losing a bit of discipline there. You know, Harry's lost possession of the ball. Amario's ended up running into the box, and Harry just stayed where he was. Now, whether he's been told to just stay high, I don't know. He needs to be tracking back, needs to be getting back into the box and defending properly. I think personnel change has changed the game a little bit for Arsenal. Bringing on the two players they've brought on in those advanced positions has actually, you know, they've managed to find those pockets, get on the ball and actually make things happen.
Well, I think we've got our first cramp victim of the night. So Watford prepare to make a third change. Hopefully you picked that up. 2,403 here at Vicarage Road tonight. A fantastic attendance, and brilliant to have so many supporters inside supporting both sides. We know there's a large contingent from Arsenal here as well, but it's made for a good atmosphere, and what an experience and occasion for the players of both teams, Omer, to play in front of so many people. Yeah,
definitely, and you know, we know our fans how much they love the club, and you know, to come and take the time to come and watch the FA Youth Cup and make it a special occasion for these boys is just really commendable.
A quick team meeting with Jack Wilshere on the touchline whilst Choudhury was getting his treatment for cramp there. It's like Xavier Messiah Edwards. He's going to be introduced shortly by Charlie Daniels. Tell us about Xavier.
Yeah, so he's another under-16 who you know, has got a lot of power, holds the ball up really well as a young striker. So it looks like we're looking to bring on a little bit more firepower up there to maybe get ourselves back in the game, and he'll go and chase things down hopefully. So maybe we need a little bit of that now.
So here's Walters from the corner for Arsenal, and Ibrahim looking for Benjamin, but Ortelli claims the catch. Now it's Watford's turn to be in a hurry with less than 15 minutes to go. Here's George Abbott. Mullins. Ball's too high for Blake, but Taylor picks up the pieces. And Abbott finds Hamas. Cross is a dangerous looking one, too far ahead of Adiemo. Greaves will pick it up on the right hand side. Early cross, which is dealt with by Sousa. Here comes that change. So Michael Adepoku is the man being replaced. Here's Xavier Messiah Edwards. Left Brentford's academy when that closed down. Could he be the one to make a name for himself tonight? Nwaneri with a strong run. Just forces Choudhury a little wide. But he still has it and he can run into the box. Nwaneri again on the edge of the penalty area. Shoots over the bar. Arsenal got Watford really where they want the moment, whereas they can counter with their pace and power now.
Yeah, it's you know, it's like we talk about momentum. We spoke about it earlier. You know, Arsenal quite happy now to sit and let us have the ball, and then for them to nick it off us around their box and counter on us because they've got the players to be able to do it with the changes that they've made as well. So yeah, it's been a bit of cat and mouse the whole game.
Michael Adepoku getting a good ovation from those inside Vicarage Road. Scored the first, had a hand in the second as well. Davis looks for Greaves, but doesn't get the angle on his ball that he wanted. Now we're heading towards the last 10 minutes. It's a big 10 minutes for the young Hornets. Have to score the next goal.
It's always a difficult period when you're trailing 4-2, because opposition players can start to cheat in high areas of the pitch, which then you try to get on the ball and take the ball forwards, lose possession, and then they've got an overload straight away. So it's a real tough predicament now for us.
And with so many young boys out there, what a learning experience for them. Here's Tom Giorgio, one of those, 15 years old. Taylor looks for Greaves. Away by Sousa. Taylor wins it back. Greaves finds Adeyemo. It's Arsenal that have the throw in.
Nice bit of aggression there from Jack Taylor to win the ball back there, and that's what we need to do. We need to get in their faces, try to get tight, win the ball back, and try and remain composed.
He'd have liked a tie against Cambridge in the next round. Who's Cambridge-born Jack Taylor. Arsenal are 7 times winners of this competition, but not since 2009. But, they might have a chance this season, and here's Cozy Dewberry with a chance for his hat-trick, and Ortelli denies him.
Yeah, if you notice Samario's finishing today, he hasn't really hit anything with any real venom. He takes a touch, he gets out of his feet, and he looks to hit corners, and he's done it well because, it forces a save, and the ball can always drop into areas that can be picked up. So he showed real good composure in those areas, Mario, today.
Well, it's been 2 penalties and pretty much 2 rebounds that have beaten Gabriel Ortelli tonight. He's dealt with pretty much everything that's been thrown his way. So he might have some more work to do here from this Arsenal corner. Corner count, it's into double figures now. It's a mass that clears at the near post. It's nicely held up by Messiah Edwards, but then Greaves fouls Sousa.
Arsenal slowing the game down now, obviously getting 4-2 up. Now they slow the game down and pick up the pace as and when they feel like it.
The Arsenal team that last won this competition contained their current head coach, Jack Wilshere. Henry Lansbury also part of that team. They beat Liverpool at over 2 legs. Liverpool had Tom Ince, who of course scored for Reading against Watford on Saturday, and former Watford loanee in their lineup that year, Alex Kacaniklic.
I think changing to a back three, okay, maybe our personnel maybe not totally what they want it to be, but it's given us that width a little bit more, getting the ball out to Harry and Greavesy in those wide areas. Now if we can make some deep runs from Adrian Blake or Charlie Davis or a Toby, we might be able to get beyond Arsenal. So tactically it hasn't been a bad change.
Here's Jack Greaves. Meet 1-2 with Adeyemo and looks to return the favour into the penalty area. It's thumped away by Walters. Jack Greaves' goal in the last round here against Everton has actually been voted by Watford supporters as their goal of the month for January. We were seeing some of the contenders played on the big screen at half-time, and supporter vote went for Jack Greaves, and rightly so. It was a wonderful goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish. He caught that brilliantly, and it was a great goal, and I think deservedly. It was a lovely strike.
It's Ibrahim, but Abbott with the interception for Watford. Davis finds Hamas and he rides one challenge and will feed Adrian Blake. Blake's cross, well, it's too close to the goalkeeper. Cooper can make a comfortable catch. He really had the height of Adeyemo to aim for there, Adrian Blake. Referee encouraging the goalkeeper to get a move on. Abbott finds Hamas. With a little less than 6 minutes left at Vicarage Road. Adrian Blake and now Messiah Edwards. Davis from range. Well, Cooper wasn't sure, watched it all the way. He said he's got form, Charlie Davis.
Yeah, scored a couple like that this season from distance. He doesn't mind having a crack from there, and when he hits them quite well. So yeah, just slightly wide.
Other than the Jack Greaves effort, that's the closest Watford have come in this second half. Can they fashion something and set up a grandstand finish in the last 5 minutes or so? Here's Hamas. Jack Taylor comes away with it. And here's Greaves. And Taylor again. Hamas wants it, and here is Harry Hamas. Couldn't find Messiah Edwards. Choudhury clears, Abbott's in the way. And here's Blake. Couldn't find Adeyemo. Arsenal may break again. There's Nwaneri, but admire some spirit being shown here, Omer, by these Watford lads.
Yeah,
they seem to have recovered from that glut of goals.
That shell shock moment. I think they seem to have got over it now, and you know, they're trying to do the right things, and they're getting in their faces, and they're not allowing them to play. And I think that's where we need to be at this moment.
Adeyemo shields it. Just played it behind Adrian Blake. Another change for Arsenal here, and well, there won't be a hat-trick for Mario Cozier-Dubry because he's been replaced. And he's going to be replaced by Maldini Kakuri. There's a name to have to live up to, your first name being Maldini.
Yeah, I think Mario's had a good game. You know, he hasn't probably been as you know, hasn't caused as many problems as I thought he would have done today. But you know, considering he's come off the pitch with 2 goals, 2 penalties, he's got a few chances around the box, and he was creative. I think he's had a good game.
He's been the difference, a real difference, hasn't he? His shot hit the post that then Kamara converted for the equaliser. He's been Arsenal's main threat, hasn't he?
Yeah, moments of magic, and that's what he's got, and he's a good player. It's a tired slug across field from Josh Mullins. Slightly fresher legs of Messiah Edwards try and win it back, but here's Nwaneri for Arsenal. Kakuri, his first involvement. And now Benjamin. Good strength from Harry Hamas there to win it back for Watford. And here's Jack Taylor. Got a couple of minutes left. A goal now will just make it uncomfortable for Arsenal. And here's Abbott. And Messiah Edwards, and looks for Adeyemo, and it's thumped away only as far as Greaves. Greaves' shot hits the bar. A wonderful strike again from Jack Greaves, and is denied by the crossbar.
so near yet so far for Watford.
Yeah, great play there from Zav on that left side. Managed to cut in, link, drive inside, and show the intelligence to slide in Toby, who didn't really get on the same page as him there. Ball drops out to Jack, and as you know, he can strike them from there. And it's unfortunate it hasn't just gone under the bar, because that would have been a beautiful goal.
Well, I've just given Arsenal some nervy moments as we go into the 90th minute. To credit these Watford boys for keeping going after conceding those 4 quick-fire goals that really knocked the stuffing out of them. Mullins still battling. And here's Jack Taylor. Couldn't find a mass on that occasion.
Yeah, right idea there. Execution needs to be better.
There's Kamara and Ibrahim for Arsenal. We are going to have another 5 minutes to be added on. If Watford could get one, Omer, there would still be time, but it's Arsenal on the attack. With Benjamin. It's a weak effort, comfortably. A far more comfortable one for Ortelli.
We might as well get bodies in forward positions now. Greasy on the shoulder, we've got nothing to lose. If we concede one more, it wouldn't matter. We might as well just go for it now and get boys on that high line.
And here is Greaves. Tom Georgiou.
These stages of games, I look at it like, when it's 4-2, they've got nothing really. If they score an extra goal, it means nothing. If we score an extra goal at 4-3, we're back in the game. So we need to go for it now. Last 5 minutes, just put everything on the plate.
Denied by an offside flag, so Arsenal will have a free kick in their right back position, just like we did in the first half. We've moved into injury time, and we have an injury. So the Arsenal goalkeeper Noah Cooper is going to keep everyone out in the cold just a little bit longer. A bit of cramp, I think, for Arsenal's goalkeeper. That's one way we can claim victory. 2 Arsenal cramp victims and to none in yellow tonight. It's normally a feature of these games, isn't it, Omer?
Yeah, I've said it a few times now over the course of the season, is we think these boys have benefited massively from the fact of having the opportunity to play up older ages and be around the first team and be in the 21s, and I think we're seeing that now. We're seeing the fruition of it with our academy, and listen, if it don't go how we want it to go tonight, which is not looking likely, the boys have to be proud of their achievements and the way they're playing and the way that they've shown confidence to compete, and everything that we're achieving so far this season. So really happy with the way things are going so far this season.
And in fact, they've had to battle through, haven't they? Because it was a tough first 3 or 4 months, wasn't it? With that young teams playing, and certainly in the 21s, to keep going and to keep believing in the light of some beatings, to then have these results turn. That's great credit to everyone involved. That the spirit wasn't completely killed.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the point that we're making, is that people haven't. Well, I hope everyone has seen the sort of path that the boys have taken and the progressions that have been made. And what's important for us is that we create players to become young professional players that go on in the game. And I think that we're on the right tracks to that. So no, it's been really good.
Another game tomorrow for you, Under-21 Premier League Cup against Crewe at Kings Langley.
No, Premier League, yeah, Premier League. So we play Crewe at home. Like you say, we've had a mixed bag of fortunes this season. We've been really young and struggled at times, but the boys now are really starting to step up to the plate, and there's been some real good performances over the last two months. Really pleasing to see.
You'll be without some regulars because they've all played tonight, won't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, but we've got others.
A 4-2 Arsenal lead, and we're deep in stoppage time here at Vicarage Road. Watford's FA Youth Cup run of this season is coming to an end. But, they've created some memories on the way, and for 55 minutes or so tonight, it looked like it might have been a very different story, with Watford having that 2-goal first half advantage. But, Arsenal have hit back and with some, and they will advance to the quarter-finals. This is Nwaneri. Sousa's up with him, and Sousa has timed his run to perfection, and he hasn't. The flag does go up, and Sousa is denied, and Arsenal are denied a 5th goal.
Yeah, great play by Ethan Nwaneri. He, drove with the ball, kept the ball really close, not allowing a tackle, not allowing a provoke, and then slid the ball in there for Lino just straight offside. Now Blakey.
Here's Adrian Blake with an effort that's blocked. It'll come back out to him. But, in trying to get it onto his left foot, he loses out to Ibrahim. Well, it wasn't the result we wanted, Omer, but in terms of summing up this Watford display, I mean, to take the game to Arsenal and create that advantage was great, but ultimately Arsenal's second half fight back proves too much for the young Hornets. The first half goals from Michael Adupoko and Toby Adeyemo wiped out a couple of penalties from Mario Okoye-Adubari, Osman Kamara and Mikhail Rosiak, giving Arsenal a 4-2 victory here at Vicarage Road in front of just under 2,500 spectators inside the stadium. The Watford players, many of them sink to their knees and lie on their backs. They've given everything over, and it looked for a long while as if it might be enough, and they might be about to create another big upset in this competition.
Yeah, and for big periods of the game, like you say, John, I think we were the better team. We put ourselves in a real positive position with 2 early goals, and sometimes that's difficult to hold on to. Maybe our goals could have come a little bit later into the game, which maybe would have helped us. But no, you have to take a hat off to Arsenal as well, who came out and continued to fight second half to get themselves back in the game and score 4 goals, and they scored 4 good goals. But no, the boys have been brilliant. They're going to be disappointed, of course they are, but it's all learning and good development for them.
Toby Adeyemo, who scored the 2nd goal tonight. Great celebrations when that went in, but those 4 second half goals from Arsenal left Watford reeling, left them shell-shocked, but they kept going to the end. Jack Greaves hit the bar. They've had another couple of efforts, and that shows some spirit in these boys, that they changed the formation and they gave it another go, albeit Arsenal, of course, were 4 goals to 2 up and perhaps were playing a little bit more reserve, but credit Watford that they kept going to the end, Omer.
Yeah, like we've said, they kept going. They worked really hard. It ain't just about this game. Let's not forget that. The things that they've achieved this season at their age is, credit to them. This is another game in their development, and we look forward to our next games coming up in the season. We wish Arsenal the best of luck moving forwards in the FA Youth Cup.
We do indeed. A cracking night of football here. A cracking night of FA Youth Cup action at Vicarage Road. A game that swung one way and then the other. Watford with the early advantage, courtesy of Adupoko and Adeyemo. It seems a long time ago in the first half when Adrian Blake sprinted away down the left-hand side and crossed for Adupoko to bundle in from close range to give Watford the best possible start. And Arsenal didn't quite know what had hit them in those first 15 minutes, and then the Hornets doubled their lead with Blake instrumental once again, teasing Rosiak, and Adeyemo getting himself a tap in. But Arsenal's second half fight back was too much for Watford to handle. Blake in that first half certainly A couple of excellent assists. But I think we said perhaps towards the end of the first half, Omer, that perhaps a third goal might be needed, and once that went in, once that penalty went in from Choudhury, it felt like the tide had turned, didn't it? And Kamara levelled things up, and it was one-way traffic.
Yeah, we said at the end of the first half they started to creep into the game a little bit and probably allowed them a little bit too much time. And then, like you say, when the penalty went in, got their towels up, and with the quality that they've got, and the players that they've got, it was always going to be the case was game management, and we just weren't quite able to contain them tonight on this occasion.
Kamara made it 2-2, and then, despite Ortelli's best efforts, he denied Sousa, but the other fullback, Rosiak, was also up there, and he slammed home the rebound to put Arsenal in front for the first time on the evening. And it felt then, with the 2 goals inside a minute, that it was going to be very hard for Watford to come back from that double blow. And there was certainly no way back when Choudhury converted his second penalty of the night, and that definitely put the game beyond Watford. As we said, when he was substituted, he was the difference really on the night. The Arsenal players, some of those thanking some of their supporters. It's been a night where we've seen 6 goals, we've seen the game go one way then the other, but it's Arsenal that progress, and to echo Omer's words, we wish them well in the quarter-finals, and we say a big well done to the Watford side that battled so bravely, and mustn't forget, had already beaten a Category 1 team in the 4th round in Everton, and couldn't quite repeat the job tonight. Thanks very much for your company on Hive Live this evening. Thank you to Omer. Riza, we'll let you go as you've got to prepare for the Under-21 game tomorrow.
Thanks for inviting me, John. Once again, really enjoyed it, and love to do it again.
We shall reconvene hopefully for the Youth Cup next season and bring you more memorable moments. But thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back on Saturday. Watford against Blackburn Rovers in the Championship. But for now, from all of us at Vicarage Road, it's a very good night.